how do I emboss a name on my handmade footwear? Now you can do it in two different ways. You can use a mesh and you can also use a metal stamp. Now this is what I ordered for my students. This is actually about 18,000 naira. That is the cost of the stamp. I mean just the metal stamp, not the stamping machine. I'm going to be placing, of course, attaching it to my stamping machine just to be able to use it and see how it really looks like. So if you don't have a stamping machine, you can actually use a soldering iron. That is why it comes with a screw. That screw will help you to suspend it into the soldering iron, and it will stamp it. When you plug the soldering iron, it will be hot. You can see what the foil helps it to achieve. So I need you to know that if you are thinking of how to actually start branding your handmade footwear or handbag, you can actually send me a WhatsApp message using the number on the screen, and I will help you to make order. It will be delivered to you.
Hello everyone, and you're welcome to today's tutorial. I'm still your shoemaking very easy tutor, Odurole Mojibala. We actually started this open toe design like 3 or 4 video tutorials ago, and we have been following step upon step just to see how to produce this at home, you know, simple ways. So today I've already taught on how to cut the pattern, so you can do some catch up on that on my channel. So, and if you are not sure of how to navigate, just let me know. How do I see the other tutorial? Just comment, how do I see the other tutorial on this, or the pattern cutting I would love to see. So what I did here was just to place the pattern we cut previously on my synthetic leather. I'm actually using a very glossy synthetic leather, and what we are doing here is what we call upper creation. This is what the upper is the part of your design that you majorly put on your footwear. That leather part is the upper. So I'm taking my time to use my scissors to cut. Now the design is a kind of design that if you place it the same way, it will not give you left and right. So previously you find out that you are seeing some, you know, red color, pink color previously, and now you are seeing white. So I had to turn it to the other side to be able to achieve that. So what I did after cutting is apply my contact cement adhesive, popularly called a 4-stick in Nigeria. I'm applying on the, you know, main leather which I cut, which is my pattern, and also what I'm going to be using to line. I'm also using a synthetic leather for my lining process, but of course I make sure that I use a very good grade for all of this process, because if you are not using a skin, does not mean, when I mean skin, I mean a genuine leather or a vet tan, it does not mean that you won't have a very good product. These materials are materials that I've tested and I've trusted, and I find that they work very well and they are very durable. So we always make sure that we do something durable. So make sure you look at the category of the synthetic leather you want to buy before you buy. In case you don't know how to select the right leather, I'm going to encourage you to join our paid classes. We have classes as low as 5,000 naira or $5 on a monthly basis subscription, and you will be learning a lot of things from that. Because I applied my contact cement adhesive on both sides, and because I'm having a glossy synthetic leather, I am not going to
It's no more news that at Jibbyfem Forte, we ignite your passion for creativity, especially when it comes to shoemaking. My name is Odurole Mojibala, and I am your shoemaking made easy tutor. We had over 350 students in this class, and all we did was impart and impute in ourselves the confidence and the wisdom and skill that we need to actually create any patterns. You are going to be having access to 40 different video and different patterns as well. Detailed video for men, for women, and of course for children. If you are actually a boss and you don't know how to actually teach your student pattern cutting, you need this class. If you are a beginner and you don't also know how to cut patterns, this is also for you. It's just 3,000 naira. Go ahead and click the link and access all of the pictures of the design you'll be learning. And of course, after learning, I can certify that 70% of your pattern cutting skill will have improved. I am going to see you in.
All right, when it comes to the, bottoming part, I know that one of the major challenges that most people used to experience is, where do I place it? For some designs, it's always very easy to place, while some of them may seemingly seem difficult because of the way they look. So I'm going to be showing you an amazing trick when it comes to placing any kind of design. If you watch my previous tutorial, I've taught my students how to use this particular format to actually position, and it has worked for so many people. So you can check my previous videos on how to last using your fingers, especially if you have especially if you are actually trying to last designs that are maybe like a straight strap, or like those who have an open toe designs generally. Of course, this is also an open toe, but this is going to be another approach entirely. The first thing you want to first of all ask yourself is, on a normal circumstances, if you're creating, a slippers, like maybe a flip-flop for someone, normally the dimension we use on this channel and I teach my students is, you measure from this side to this side 5 centimeter, and from here to here 3.5 centimeter. What does that mean? You are going to place your ruler right here. Then you want to make sure it's at the edge and at the highest part of the footwear. Place it this way. So this is where you have 5 centimeter. 5 centimeter is equivalent to 2.5 inch. So this is 5 centimeter. Please note, this is the inch part of the ruler. It has a wider space than the centimeter, so don't make mistake. I am actually teaching you in centimeter. So this is what we use, 5. Let's say this is here. You can see I did not use anything that will create unnecessary mark. It's because of this tutorial process. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. On a normal circumstances, I would not do this if I want to make myself, because I can categorically be sure that when I place it, it will be right. And this is because I've always been doing it. Those who have always been doing it, that you find them placing it, and that's why most times you ask your tutor, how come, how do I know how to place it? They can't explain, probably because they are already used to looking at it and getting it. So they will tell you, yeah, you to look at it, That's what happened, most times when you are actually learning. But this will actually help you to be able to guide yourself anytime you want to last for anybody. So now, some people will ask me, if the person is wearing a longer size, is it the same thing? Yes, on the average, anybody wearing from size 37 or even size 36, if you ask me, maybe size 36 to size 41 or 42 can actually use this, whether male or female. Now, if you have somebody who has a very long toe, probably you have seen your customer, they have a long toe, you can actually decide to increase this instead of 4 to 5, instead of 5 to 6. Now, this is what must happen if you are going to increase this to 6. It means that by the time you want to actually pick the sole for the person, make sure that if the person is wearing 20, let's say the person is wearing like size 40, make sure you pick a size 41 sole for the person, because 1 centimeter will be short on this side. Immediately you increase it more, 1 centimeter will be short. So it means the footwear may not size the person properly. Their foot will be showing outside. That's what it means. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So please, anytime you want to exceed 6, you want to exceed 5 as your measurement from here to here, you are exceeding 5, make sure that you are planned. Make sure you have planned it from the beginning to ensure that this particular part, you have already increased the full length, which means now I'm creating 40 for somebody. If I know the person has a very long toe, which means that if I put this 5 here, the person's toe might be showing outside. There are some people that they actually have their second and third toe longer than even the first one. So you want to consider those set of people. You want to increase it to 6. You are going to make sure that you increase this size to 41 and not 40 for the person. Please take note of this. It can cost you to actually produce footwear 2 times. And I have seen a lot of people, when they want to create flip-flop, let's assume they want to create a flip-flop, something that is going to be entering into this place. After they measure their 5, this is where 5 is. They will now place their leather here and punch downward. This will also make it go lower, and this one will have more space. Each time you actually make a measurement of 5 centimeter here, never put it downward this way to position. Place it exactly where the 5 is. Let's say my 5 is here. Let me use this. If my 5 is here, let me place it down. Make sure that you are placing it upwards this way. If you place downward, can you see this is longer, and it will make this place shorter for whoever you are creating with for. I hope you get what I mean with that particular, explanation. Now, the next thing I was talking about is, okay, I've explained to you what you should do if the person's toe is long or wide. Now, for those people with, maybe the person does not have a wide toe, this place can be 3.5, which means from this edge to this place will be perfectly okay for the person. Will be perfectly okay. So you also want to check again, is it up to 5? No, it's not up to 5. I am not punching it. That's why I don't want to put any mark on top of it. Please, I am doing all of this for tutorial purpose. Get an erasable pen to do this. Get an erasable pen to do this. Get an erasable pen to do this. You don't want to finish footwear and the whole inside is full of different marks, like different pen. You understand? So I have this one to be here. Let's say this is this, and on this side is already more than 5. I don't want it to be more than 5. So it means this and this, they are balancing themselves. I want to check again. Okay, yes, this is perfectly okay. Now, if it's a male, probably male wearing 44 and they have a 44, 45, 43, and their toe, big toe is very wide. That's why I always tell us, if you are creating footwear for somebody on order, can you see their feet? It's always good to see their feet. If it's somebody that you cannot see their feet, then somebody should describe for you. Or else, if it's not fitting them, they either don't come back, they either return it or don't come back to you again. So it's not a crime to see or know the proper measurement of whoever you are creating a footwear for, a bespoke as at that. They are ordering it. You are not mass producing. So you can actually increase this to 4. You can increase this to 4. But please, I need you to be very careful with this. Be very careful. Ordinarily, I would say just 3.8 and not 4. Because sometimes when you pick 4, in short, if you are not careful, you will find out that it will be at the wrong spot. Especially if you did not consider the width of the person's feet initially when you were choosing the kind of outer sole for them, or the kind of sole template you use if it's not wide. So when you are working for people, you want to work with the size of their foot and not just carry any sole and use to make, anything for them. If you are mass producing, of course, that's acceptable. You can work like that. But if you are not mass producing, it's for a particular person, always request to see the shape of their foot. It's just my candid opinion because I know what this has cost me as a beginner. So please, I don't want you to fall victim of that. Don't be too much in a hurry to receive their money that you don't ask the necessary questions. Please. So it means this place is supposed to be wider than this if I'm going to use 4. Because if it's a bit wider, when I place this place at 4, it will still commensurate. The look will still be perfect. But you can imagine me, placing this here and picking 4. Can you see where it is? Can you see? Almost at the middle of the whole footwear, whereas your biggest toe is not at the middle of the footwear. Now, I am explaining this for those people who want to create a flip-flop, but I want you to know that that is also the yardstick for any other design you want to place. Let me bust your bubble. Now, this is where I have it to be. Is that not it? So I'm going to do something. Don't mind my foot. I'm going to use my foot. Now, you can decide to use a shoe last if you so desire. You can use a shoe last. This is my foot. Now, what does this mean? It means that no matter who is wearing the flip-flop, their leg must stop here because this is the limit. Remove it. Remove that thing there. This is what I want to place. Is that not it? Now, I can begin to place now. Their foot must not exceed that point. So, I want to make sure that my foot too doesn't exceed that point. Now, I'm going to do this. Place this under. I want it to be somewhere here. Now, I want to make sure that this smallest toe is covered. I want to adjust it a bit. This is what you should do for any kind of footwear you want to create. Now, if you feel this is too outwards, come again. Bring it. Just make sure it's covering this one. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't create footwear for somebody and their smallest toe is showing. In short, I used to say that, you see this joining between this and this should not be open. So if you can close it, it's sure that if it's closed, it's not showing outside here. It's so sure that their toe will not come out. But if it is showing, it's a guarantee that when they walk and their foot slip in and out, this part will be out as well. So let's go right to this side. I told us this opening, ensure it's not showing. Even if you are creating something like this, let's say the strap is so tiny, follow the same concept. Make sure, if it's as tiny as this, make sure that it's covering this part and let this one come here. This is how you position it. It looks very slant, but because it's tiny, or else if you do it this way, if you look at it this way, you know, it's looking like it's very okay because at least it's covering the smallest toe. By the time the person walk in and out, this toe will be coming, before you know it, this one is coming out here, and the thing is busy disturbing the person's foot. That's the reason I said work on making sure that this opening here is not out anytime you are creating any open toe design, except for those open toe design that, you know, they are always curved at the edge like that. These front parts are always curved. Those ones, of course, can cover up very well because they are also wide, so they can cover up a lot more. So let's go back to our design. So with this, if you pay attention to this is the last time you will struggle with any design. See, this will work for both male and female. If you're working with my foot look more like a masculine foot than a feminine foot. You can see it's a wide one. So it will work whether the person is a male or is a female, because I know people will start asking, will this one work for a female? Is it just for male? It will work for both of them. So I want you to know that as I learn, I also add value to everyone around me. So in case you're watching this for the first time, my name is Odurole Mojibola, like I said, and all I do on this channel is make shoemaking easy for you. Now, if you're creating this for yourself at home, you are reducing your expenses when it comes to footwear. You can do this for your children, you can do this for yourself. In short, this can be on a heel and not a flat, and you will enjoy every bit of it. So from what I have right here, this is just the position for this. So what do I want to do? I want to pick up this one too. Don't forget, it's climbing right on top here, and then it's coming right down here. So I know the next thing somebody is asking me, madam, so how do I remove my leg? How do I go about this one? Now, this is what I'm going to suggest. If you are a beginner, I always suggest that you don't pass your design by the side. The reason is because you might not be able to bevel this one enough for it to actually, you know, stay very well by the time you put your outer sole. That's why all this place of your design, they are always open. When you bottom it, when you put your outer sole, this place will be open. This place too will be open. You will now be pouring plenty tissue glue inside it. And you say, the work is not neat. It cannot be neat. Cannot be neat. So I'm going to suggest, if you're a beginner, because for me, my core attention is for beginners on this channel. I want you to be able to enjoy the basic things you need to know, and then you can improve on it over time. So from what I have here, I'm just going to shift my foot a bit. Because from this edge to this edge, because I wrapped it, should be about 1 centimeter. So I want to just, you know, mark it down to where it is. I put that is already okay for me. I come to this side and do the same thing. Now that's why I say you should get a marker and an erasable marker. We have leather marker that you can erase. That's what you should use. You don't need to, you know, pin it down. Just use it to mark. Put your feet inward a bit, mark. Because in case you don't know or you're not sure whether it is at 1 centimeter away from the edge. So with that marker, you will check after putting it on it to check, okay, it's at 1 centimeter. Okay, it means I'm good to go. If it's not 1 centimeter, take your ruler and use it to check it. Some people use 0.5 inch. For me, sometimes that can be too much, especially if the width is something else. So with this, I'm going to just pick this side. You see, as long as I've picked this first one, I don't have issues with this second part again. When I punch it, I'll place it on it, and it will help me to locate the next one. The same thing on this side. Now, let's come here. Now, with this one now, what I want to first of all check is, I want to pick this part. This part. I want to pick this part. So, I've already marked that. I want to come to this side too. And try to pick. In short, if I only pick this one, I can use it to get this side if I so desire, in case you don't know. So for this one, don't forget this one is here. For this one, I can remove my feet now gently. For this one, I'll still pick this upper part, which is about 1 centimeter or so away. Now, when I was picking these lower ones, if you notice, I picked the lower part and not the upper part. For this one, I also pick the upper part. I pick the upper part so that you must not forget the process you went through. So this one, I will punch, then place to cover the punch, then punch the other side. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do on this particular side too. I'm going to place this. Now, looking at this, I find out that the position, can you see, is quite slant. But is my design slant? I really want to be sure of that. Now, what I can do to ascertain how to properly position this side is, I will punch this part and let it be in it, then I will bring it back to this particular point. I think the major challenge we do have with designs like this is the front part. And as soon as you get the front part, you are surely good to go. So let me have my seat now and show us how to quickly go around, punching and then fixing it. Before you will be wondering, where will I get money to buy a stamping machine? Come on, let me show you something. Now, I'm going to be using this soldering iron to actually use my metal stamp. And now, the first thing you want to do is buy a soldering iron, remove all other things on top of it, of course, unscrew that inner part, and use the screw that comes with your metal stamp, of course, insert it into it and screw it down. Now, I have actually plugged this soldering iron for like 3 good minutes and see what it looks like on the foil. 3 good minutes. And of course, maybe after some, let's say like 5 minutes, if you use it on an ordinary leather, it's hotter at that point and it will give you this beautiful look. I need you to know that you can get this stamp for as low as 18,000 naira, only the stamp and the screw. Of course, you can get a soldering iron around you. You will still get a soldering iron of about 3,000 naira. The foil, you can go, if you want the foil, of course, you can also order for the foil and get it. And if you don't know how, just use the WhatsApp number on the screen and send a message now.